up like bits from everywhere. And I think like one thing that you've done, you've been this kind of like this nomad going from like world parkour champion, you know, then ninja warrior, and then like ultra running, well, marathon running, and then now like you found an affinity to the fells, right?
Yeah.
But like, so you've gone on this similar journey.
Yeah.
And so where are you at now?
Like, my whole journey is just to feel like a child. Like, I think it's for the return to innocence and urban environment, parkour, and like there's a deeper affinity as a human to want to feel comfortable in my surroundings. So wanting to stand on top of a building makes me feel comfortable in my surroundings, but I now feel like I understand that came from a deeper affinity to want to understand your surroundings, and going back to nature with my lifestyle, with my diet and everything has brought me back, and basically running on the fells is like free running in mountains. So it's the same joy within me that's seeking it, but it's just like returning to innocence, returning to my roots, returning to nature. That's been my sort of quest, is the subtle hints of what makes me feel more calm and less competitive and stuff like that, and out here I feel that.
And that's what's weird, like you, when you and your marathon times and stuff, like you are top tier. Like you won't admit it because you're modest, but you're top tier. You're elite. And what's amazing is you don't see this competition, and what I love is you treat endurance like art, and it's just like you're on this quest. You've lost weight even when there wasn't a lot to lose, but you're like a Ferrari. You're like taking off bits if you don't need it. You chop it. It's like this human optimization.
It is human optimization. I think that's coined it perfectly. I know I could be better, and I know I will never put something down to age or just, you know, genetics. I know I can find it and seek it, but I have to put in the work and the time and the discipline to get that. And so refining parkour is like, you can get by with bad mobility because it's about looking different, but gymnastics, you have to have peak mobility to be the best. You think of rings, that's all about shoulder mobility and the maximum strength through one joint. And so I want to look at running from that perspective. Like, if you have the optimum mobility, then you can run with peak performance, and then maybe genetics will come into play at that point. But until you've got to there's no point trying to worry about genetics. So I want to take it back to the mobility, and then once I have that mobility for running, that will apply to everything from gymnastics to parkour, because if you're running with the right shoulder, your shoulders are back and down, then you can lean forward more and you're there. But if everyone's got these hunched shoulders and you're trying to run, it's putting your hips out, it's putting your ankles out. So mobility for running is mobility for everything, the way I see it, and it's my quest.
But you were doing that, you were looking at like Tai Chi for running. Last time I caught you were reading books on that. And then yoga and mobility. You're on like another level when it comes to like efficiency. Do you know what I mean? And just being like, I suppose it's fair to say, you look at like the human body and go, where am I going to make the biggest gains? You know, where are the biggest improvements?
And where, if I take one step back to take 5 steps forward, that's what, or take 2 steps back to take 5 steps forward, I'm okay with that. And that's what I've done, because I could continue training and just running and doing the training plans that someone had written for me to make a marathon 3 hours, or I could reassess everything, and I'm not afraid to do that. And I enjoy it because I've learned and I understand that nothing is given. Science is not complete. There's so much scope for us to go out there if you're willing to put your neck out and say, actually, I'm not happy with those answers. What can I find if I do the search?
Yeah, and what I love is, you were saying earlier, you are your science experiment. You're just like, hey, look, I'm going to apply all these principles, these theories that I've got, and I'm just going to try them on myself.
And let my body be my PhD. Like, if people want answers and they like what they like, look at me, look at the people getting the results you want and look at them for answers. And if people are ready to do that and they look at me, I'll be like, okay, cool, I've been on this journey for years. What do you want to know? Because I've got some potential alternative answers for you.
Absolutely. It's almost like deconstructing your own body and just going like, right, okay, let's see where the improvements can be made.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I love, and that's what, like, you know, in the time that I've known you, like I said, when I first got into running, you know, it was Sweden. I talk about it a lot. It was humbling for me and stuff. But you know, you ever since have kind of been this like big brother of endurance, where I've always been able to go to you and go, mate, I'm trying barefoot running, and you're like, oh, okay, and we throw around ideas and everything. But you're now doing the same in the fells. On your own.
I think completely with that in mind, and barefoot and everything, the answers are always returning to our youth. We're built naturally great. We're great specimens of machines. But we do things that take us off that. And so what can we undo? What are we doing? What's in our diet? What's in our everyday life? Sitting in chairs, sleeping in a hot bed, wearing shoes with heels, eating too much heavily cooked food. All these little things that we as kids, we're so pure and spirited, and slowly we blame things on old age, but it's not the right way. Because I look at people that aren't getting those results, and it isn't just down to genetics and other things.
No. So almost like de-evolving